What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another video. The Dallas Cowboys lose in overtime. God dang, this one stings. They lose 40-34. They drop down to 10-4 on the season. Let's talk about it.
Down the field, Lamb, 10, 5, victory! Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. How about the rookie Micah Parsons? What a play!
Defense wins championships, but the Super Bowl is won by the quarterback.
Be sure to like and subscribe for more Cowboys content. We're going to be here all year. I'm going to cut to the chase. And if you saw my pregame prediction video, you knew how I felt about this game going in. I really thought the Jacksonville Jaguars, I thought they were a good matchup for the Cowboys. And boy, did that prove to be correct. And I knew Trevor Lawrence was going to have a good day. I knew he was going to pass the ball because that's one of the, if that's not the main thing that they do, he was going to throw it. And if you look at the Cowboys side, all the Jaguars literally have to do is don't throw it towards Diggs. Don't do that. Attack other players. And at one point, it'll figure itself out. And it did. Deron Bland had an interception. Kudos to him. Thanks for the interception. But oh my God, Kelvin Joseph. Jerry Jones called this man out before his debut last week and said, this man needs to man up. I'm calling this experiment over. There's nothing that he can do to resurrect or restore the performances that he has had in the past two games. There is nothing glimmering. There's no silver lining in what he has done. He is getting burnt. He is getting toasted. He is getting outplayed whenever a wide receiver matches up. And every quarterback's going to see that from here on out. Ending the season, attack him, throw at him. He may get you on a couple of plays, but we'll get one, and it'll come at the right time. It's as simple as it is. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, guys, it's not the NBA. This is the NFL. When you lose key starters, it makes a huge difference. Because as much as we like to talk about quarterback stats, as much as we like to talk about wins and losses with head coaches, it's a team sport. There's 11 players on the offense and 11 players on the defense, and you need good, solid starters besides the star players that you already have on the team so that they can do their job, so that those other star players can excel and look good how they always do. The Cowboys are down some of these key starters, and it's starting to pile up. And I told y'all, this Cowboys team, I'm afraid they're not the same as they used to be. They still got that pass rush. They still got D-Law. They still got the tank. They still got Micah Parsons. And we're going to talk about Micah Parsons here in a little bit. Because what he's done the past 2 weeks has been very disappointing. Regardless, it's as easy as this. If you don't want what used to be the number one pass rush defense to come at you and gain sacks, get the ball out of your hands. Screen, dumps, slants. As easy as that. And let them work on our cornerbacks and our defensive backs and our linebacker, who, unfortunately, we don't have Leighton Vander Esch. I don't know how bad that's going to be. It's a neck injury, and that's one of the biggest red flags that was about him when he was drafted. So I don't know how severe that's going to be or if that's going to hold him out next game. And we're dealing with Anthony Barr, who's not a starting linebacker. I know he's a Pro Bowler, but the Cowboys are just, unfortunately, a lot of people looked at this game and saw the 10-3 record that the Cowboys are. And granted, yes, it's a team effort to get to that win. But you got to look at the team right there in front of you. And right now, the Cowboys are lacking with some key starters, some key playmakers. And it showed today. That's one part of the reason why they lost today. That's why Trevor Lawrence had such a big game. But I guess I'm not really mad. I don't know if you tuned in this video to see a Cowboys fan yelling. If you could read by the title on top of my channel, I'm unbiased, I'm realistic. And so if you saw my pregame prediction video, I kind of saw this high-scoring game happening. And up until overtime, it was everything that I predicted. That Dak Prescott was going to go down the field, that he was going to score the touchdown, we were going to gain the lead. And I thought we made the play. We made the play. Trevor Lawrence escaped out of the pocket, fumbled the ball, Micah Parsons recovered. How in the world is that not game? I'll tell you what. It's one man, and you guys know how I feel about him. It's Kellen Moore. This team could go 16-0, 17-0. This team could have the number one offense, and we've seen that before. I would never, ever, ever trust Kellen Moore around my kids nor this football team. You can't trust this man as far as you can throw him. That sequence to end the game was atrocious. It was the thing that lost the game. And that's the thing about the NFL. It's 60 minutes, right? You can call a good game for 58 minutes, and if you don't call those last two, well, it can bite you. It can cost you. And it was just really simple. And honestly, let's play that scenario out. You run the ball 3 times. Okay, it's 4th and 10. You got to punt it. But they still burn their 3 timeouts. So if we're still playing that scenario where Trevor Lawrence escapes the pocket again, throws the ball, by the time he's down and he's still in the middle of the field, I think it was Zay Jones who caught it, who got him into field goal range. He caught it. He was on the ground. 6 seconds left. No timeouts. Game over. So not only is it Kellen Moore and his play calling that got us in that 3rd and 10 situation, but it's also clock management with Mike McCarthy and not understanding what needed to be done. And it was just a downward spiral. We're not even getting into it because we still haven't talked about how the Cowboys gave up a 27-10 lead. Jokes on Micah Parsons, honestly. Okay, let's talk about Micah Parsons now. Jokes on Micah Parsons. Remember when we were up 28-14 against the Green Bay Packers and we lost the game in overtime, and after they talked to Micah Parsons and he said, we're never going to give up a lead like that. You better believe that. If Dak and the offense gets us up 28-14, you better believe we're never giving that up. Yeah, joke's on you. Joke's on you because you were up 27-10 this time. And you know what? I get it. Not a lot of key starters, like I said. You know, he's one part of 11 players. But Mr. Future Defensive Player of the Year, there was nothing from you. There was not that explosion. There was not that explosiveness from the line that you recovered a fumble, but it wasn't you that caused the fumble. I'm afraid, sir, you have lost the right to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. Unbiased, realistic Cowboys fan, as much as I love it and as much as I've supported it, you cannot play the Houston Texans and play the Jacksonville Jaguars and walk away with 0 sacks. If you're the Defensive Player of the Year that you want to be, 0 sacks? Well, actually, he got 1. I'm sorry. He got 1 sack. He got 1 sack out of those 2 games. And he recovered the fumble. But 27-10, what a meltdown. Then it got 27-17. Okay. 27-24. Wow. Then 31-27. Absolutely embarrassing. And it's unfortunate. Like I said, it goes back to the point that I had about the Cowboys not being the same team as they used to be at the beginning of the year. And they're not. Just because they don't have the players. You don't have Jordan Lewis. You don't have Jonathan Hankins. You don't have Anthony Brown. In this game, you didn't have Leighton Vander Esch. And injuries are part of the game. I get it. But you should never. It's just embarrassing. I don't care who you are if you drop a 27-10 lead. You thought the 28-14 lead stung. The collapse against the Packers stung and losing in overtime. Well, I got one better for you. This one. All right, we're still going. I still got little segments here. We got to talk about Noah Brown. The Cowboys, it all goes back to philosophy because the Cowboys believe in their guys, right? They believe in their guys, and they're going to go reach in the $5 bin at Walmart instead of going out and buying something that's good quality, lasts you long, something that can be good quality. Instead, they want to look at a stat sheet and say, hey, I think that guy could produce this. But I think he's more inexpensive, so let's get this guy. It bit them. Because 2 things. I said it in my season prediction video back in May. I said, going into the Buccaneers game, I said the Cowboys did nothing to improve their secondary. Nothing to improve their secondary. It's like they just saw Trayvon Diggs pick off everyone last time, and they said, I mean, that's good enough, right? No, you kept Anthony Brown, you kept Jordan Lewis. Granted, both of them got injured, but besides drafting DeRon Bland, you didn't improve that part of the secondary. That's probably one of the biggest weaknesses because everyone threw against the Cowboys last year. Now that's catching up to them. See, that philosophy of believing in our guys? Well, you should have bought a guy, honestly, for the secondary. And that goes back to Noah Brown. The little project the little experiment that you had with Noah Brown, it's not working because he fumbled in Detroit against Detroit in the red zone. That put us in a hole. Dak Prescott, I'm going to talk about Dak Prescott too, don't you worry. But no, Dak Prescott escapes out of the pocket. A lot of pressure coming in, which the offensive line should be better. I mean, we had such a good-looking line right there. But he dumps the ball down. Noah Brown, bricks for hands, butterfingers, call it whatever you want. This man can't secure a first down catch, bobbles off of his hands, runs it back. That's their guy. That's Jerry and Steven's guy, y'all. So hopefully this pushes them to sign OBJ this week. Because Jerry says he's on his way to Dallas. And I'd just rather have a proven guy. And if OBJ's in that situation, if he drops it, okay, I can live with that. But it's living with the fact that I know someone could be better in that position catching that ball rather than Noah Brown. And granted, he's given us a lot of great moments, a lot of great highlights throughout the year. But we can be better. And you know what? I got to start talking like this. I got to start critiquing. Because we're in December. We got a big game up against the Eagles next week. Playoffs are around the corner. So these things, they got to tune up. It's not like how it was back in week 5, where we could be like, okay, long season ahead. We'll get back into it. No worries. Now, this is playoff time here. And we got a playoff game coming up this Saturday on Christmas Eve. Let's talk about Dak Prescott. Because I thought he played great. He had a terrible interception. This man... His interceptions, man, you could make a book about the conspiracy of each of his interceptions. Because they're bad, man. Like, they happen at the worst moments. But it's always something, right? Like, it's sometimes, like, he's thrown some bad balls, and those are just straight up interceptions. Like this one today, the first one, he threw it over Dalton Schultz. But that second one that was returned that won the game for the Jacksonville Jaguars, like, that is nowhere near Dak's fault. He threw the ball, he made the play, but it just bounced off his hands. And we've heard that a lot this season. Noah Brown and Dak Prescott bouncing off their hands. You know what solves that? Signing a proven guy and not believing in just your guys. Crazy, right? See, that problem doesn't happen if you have Coop, if you have Gallup, and if you have CeeDee Lamb. Because instead of Noah Brown making that catch, it's CeeDee Lamb making that catch. Call me crazy. But Dak Prescott delivered. He had some rough drives, I'm not going to lie. And he had that terrible interception. But he did lead this team down the field. He did his job. He led this team down the field, delivered a strike to Noah Brown. After just critiquing Noah Brown, now we got to say, Noah Brown had that game-winning touchdown. But granted, great job. And the throw was not his fault. It really wasn't. Definitely not a game that we should have lost. Saw it coming because the Cowboys aren't the same as they were. We're 10-4. But weirdly enough, I'm at this weird part of the season where just because the Eagles are so far ahead, like, we all know we're going to play the Buccaneers in the wild card. We all know that. And nothing's going to change that even if we beat the Eagles next week. Because we're 2 games behind. And now we have to expect the Eagles to lose more games. So really weird because now, like I said in my pregame prediction video, the seasons, these last 4 games are tough. And I think it's going to be really good to see the Cowboys go through these next 4 games. Or 3 games, actually. And see how they come out of it. But I don't know, guys. That's my reaction to the game. I'm sorry if I didn't yell as much as you expected a Cowboys fan to after losing. But yeah, this one's crazy. 4 losses on the season. 2 of them have been against, the Buccaneers lost, the Eagles lost, and then 2 of them are just straight meltdowns. Those are terrible losses. Yeesh. Anyways, comment down below. Be sure to like, and I'll be back later this week to talk about the Cowboys and the Eagles. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'll see you guys next time. Go Cowboys.
Down the field, Lamb, 10, 5, victory! Touchdown, Ezekiel Elliott. How about the rookie Micah Parsons? What a play!
Defense wins championships, but the Super Bowl is won by the quarterback.